Hi, this is not a game dev log, and this is a work in progress mobile puzzle game I made myself. The current working title is Tube Maze, but I think in the end it will have more of a neon theming. So this is all designed, that's why it's shaped like this for mobile. Also just for the one button, one touch controls, and it's a very simple puzzle game. It gets a little harder as they do. The levels are randomly generated and the goal is to swap tiles, so the empty ones are tiles too, to make a full circuit basically. So then it lights up and we finish the level. So we can do a little bit more of this level. So like I said, they are randomly generated currently. Maybe in the end I'll generate or create custom levels. So this is level 0 basically. Let's do a couple more levels to see how it increases in difficult. So still we have the 2x3 grid. For me, of course, it's very easy, but this I think is for everyone still very easy. Well, so now I have to think, because there is no endpoint that goes to the east corner. So this has to go here. So that's the first time I actually have to think. And they don't all have to make one circuit as long as everything is connected to something. And you can see this is now orange-ish, and it will be yellow when it's basically satisfied, and then the inner tubes from the tube maze will become blue. Does not mean that it's correct, it just means that it's satisfied all its connections. Then we go like this. Let's go one level higher. So now we have a 3x3. Let's see, still very easy. So the puzzle generation algorithm basically starts with a solution and then scrambles it. So we know that it's always solvable. This one has multiple solutions I can spot, so there's currently no way to tell. But of course, this is a different solution. Not very different, but still different. And then this as well. So I'm not sure what the starting point was. There's also an undo button, and currently, because this is still a work in progress, you can even undo out of a solved state. And then difficulty is mostly decided. Oh wait, let me show you. So the difficulty to me, in my experience from playing, is mostly decided by the amount of space you have. So you have of course no opportunity to put them outside the board. So if we go to another higher difficulties, suddenly there start to be less and less of these open spaces to maneuver. Of course you don't have to maneuver to an open space, so some people think that that's the case. So here the first solution is not the correct solution. I have to change it a bit, so we solve it like this. These boards, so the solutions, basically they get generated and then shuffled, like I said. And how are these generated? Well, basically I decide to fill out the whole grid, so I base it on the connections between the cells, and then carve out empty spaces. So I start with this 3x3 grid with everything connected to everything. These outside connecting points get added later. And then the difficulty is mostly decided by how many of these connections I remove. The more I remove, the easier it gets, because also there are multiple solutions, so you're way less restricted. But then in the end, if you only remove one connection, then it basically turns around. So I think I'll go quickly through all these levels until I get stuck. It could of course go way harder than in this demo. I'll leave the link in the description, of course, so I'm curious to hear what you think. It's now playable in a browser or mobile, sadly on Apple devices. That means the full screen is not so nice in Safari, but still it's very workable. No sound yet. I'm now just clicking around a bit, but I already see that I am there. So let's go to the next level. So now we are back to a 3x3 grid, but with way less empty space. So there's 0 empty spaces and there's way more connections. So now we start seeing T-pieces, and there's also the possibility for plus or crosses. And we also see that currently we have a fixed piece inside the board, and that actually makes it easier and harder. So of course you are restricted, but also you have something to build off of and to also think about what that means. So currently here only this piece fits because this does connect, but of course these T pieces can only be they cannot be on the left or the right side. Then this is the same, so I think this is the best spot for this T piece, and we are there. So let's do one more level 5. So there's no restrictions on which board is fixed. Actually, with these very low levels you can shuffle to a new solved state. So this is all like the rough edges of this work in progress. For me this is kind of fun, and that's a very nice test for me. So when I make this, I send it to my friends and family, and of course the results differ very both because the games have different levels of funness, but also of course not every game is for everyone. So most of my friends and most of my family are not really gamers, so I also have to take it with a bit of grain of salt if I make too complex of games. Then I have to find a community of real gamers basically, or real puzzlers in this case. But this one was a real big hit with my mother, so she was actually playing it a lot, and that gives me the most joy in game design, to know that at least one person enjoys it. So that's that's very nice. And of course it's my mother, so maybe she will be always positive, and she will, luckily, but she will not play a game she doesn't understand or she doesn't like. And what she likes most, I think, is also that you get the nice color glow up when you're done, and you'll create some funny shapes, but the higher levels you get stuck for a while. So here I think is the first, for me personally, the first level 7, 8, 9 where I actually have to think. So let's stop yapping for a moment and see why I'm stuck. So I just did the first things that I saw, and this does not work because here I have to go somewhere else. So I'm now just trying a bit and hopefully I get to a solution that does work out. And then if that doesn't work, basically the next step would be to actually think about which restrictions there are in the board, because there's always like one problem in the board. Maybe there's no real corners, northwest corners or something. Here I'm still stuck, so I have to swap something out. It could might just well be that the end result looks totally different, and I think it would be cool that once you solved it you could see a little GIF or some loop of how you solved it, because it's very satisfying to see this going from the messy state it starts at to the solution, especially if you're very close but it turns out to be that you're very far. So I can do this and that solves it. So that's also, I think, quite a bit of a lucky shot, because it's a simple design of a game, but it's very fun that sometimes you don't even see how close you are. So here I thought I have no idea, and I only have to swap these two to the right, still connecting this, and then suddenly I see the solution, but I didn't know it, so it's always a bit of a surprise. And actually, this still being a very simple puzzle idea, I did go through a lot of iteration already, so I currently have no way to show the previous versions, but a lot of these things have changed a bit. For example, this background checkerboard helps a lot in visualizing what actually are the pieces. Adding the undo button helps a lot. So now I've gone to level 8, which is already a 4x5 with 2 stuck parts and 3 endpoints and a very full board. Let's see if I can solve this live as well within a reasonable amount of time. I think it, especially when it's becoming a mobile game and it being more for than the mobile more casual audience, I think a hint system would also be very nice. There's not a lot of room. At least I haven't thought about a lot of more mechanics that I can add to this game. So I think the beauty of the game is in the simplicity, basically, and there's no rotating, for example, but rotating would both make the controls way more complicated. Now it's just tapping the two things you want to swap, and I think little animations would help a lot in communicating what actually happens. So if you see this not just instantly jumping but moving, that would help a lot. But rotating would just complicate it. But I thought maybe that was a reasoned thought. Maybe these fixed ones could be rotatable in the higher difficulties. So now I have to think. So I think this one should go here. Because of this, we need something that's straight here, or an empty spot, of course. But this looks promising. Oh, now I can use the undo button. I think I go here. So this looks decent. So let's see where we end up when we try to place everything. We can even go here. Go here. So we are close. And I think, yes. So after a while you start to see the patterns where you can swap out things to make a small change that basically create a big change. And can I also solve the number 9? By the way, if you like this content, like and subscribe. And if you like Super Autopets content, definitely like and subscribe, because that's what I've uploaded the most and probably will upload a lot more. But it's also fun to show off some of my own projects. And yeah, it's of course, you might not even know, but it's a lot of work to go from this idea, which works very well. It's a lot of fun to play, to a finished app on the App Store with all the rules, and then you have to add menus and save and loading and all this stuff. So it would be a lot of work to actually release it, and then you have to think about monetization. Well, if you want to earn money, which of course would be nice, because because of the work it takes, and just because that also gives a lot of satisfaction. So hopefully I will find the time to to finish it up, maybe, because I think it's still a very small game, so it's a lot more reasonable to finish this up than way more complicated game ideas. So here you get stuck. So I am on the 9th difficulty currently. So let me see if I can finish this one up and end the video. Oh, and now, yeah, this is also currently a bit, it should be improved, because it's not really obvious that this one is not even connected. The color difference is way too small. So let me do this, and then we have this open. So we can do this. And no, that didn't help. So let me see. This looks decent, but could be changed. So we could also go here, for example. And we could also go here. Oh, and that's it. So yeah, for me, this is the funny part, right? So I just thought, well, you could swap out this turn so I can undo now. I can swap out this corner piece with this T piece. And I'm only looking at what I'm doing here, not even what I'm doing here. And then suddenly you get the beautiful yellow golden color. So that's it. Currently called Tube Maze. I think when I release it, it will be called something like Neon Swap, Neon Slider. I thought of a lot of themes, but I think the neon theme would look beautiful. Let me quickly, let me show the preview of the demo art as well. So here's a quick preview of the current status. It's not really finished up, that's why it's not uploaded like this currently on itch.io, but this is the demo art of the neon version with the pitch black background. Maybe the checkerboard has to come back, but I think this looks very pretty. It currently has a hand-drawn wobbly style, but it's very promising to me. So let me quickly select a easier one, so we can also have the satisfaction of finishing this one up. Very rare situation where you get the plus sign in the earlier levels. I'm now getting confused. And that's it. There we go. So that's it. Tube Maze Neon Factory, hopefully out on mobile soon. Thanks for watching.